And they do tend
I
to
mean, it
fight over
works out.
farm, but they will go
Okay.
for the Enigma for now. Of course, you do have that the bonus, of course, of having the Eidolons being ranged, so when she does activate her aura, they do get a bit ridiculous as well.
It's an interesting pickup for Sirius. I would not really expect it up against a Nyx Assassin, because the Nyx just has a really easy time canceling off that black hole until the BKB flies out, of course. But Spike Carapace is really easy to get off. Just turn it on, walk up to black hole, and then your black hole's gone.
But the thing is with Enigma right now in this meta, it's not really about the black hole, right?
I mean, yeah, the focus is on that Eidolon and the push and the deny, but surely not making use of that black hole costs. We have seen it before, where of course you get that early lane push and pressure on with the Enigma, but when you come mid game and you can't throw out those black holes, when the team fights start breaking out, it falls flat.
Well, we'll see what Team Sirius do plan to do with that, though. Keen Gaming. So they'll go into an Ember Spirit, and we've seen this a lot as well. A solid overall hero to have. Team Sirius, again, I'm still very curious what they're planning to pair up with the Drow. Of course, they already have that Enigma, but you need a bit more than that. Especially against this draft that Keen Gaming's bringing out, they are going to be pretty strong throughout the whole game. I mean, it's just early game they're good, late game they're good, mid game they're good. They don't seem to be weak at any stages at the moment. Just due to the fact, mostly to that lone Druid, I feel.
Yeah, they are really well rounded off from Keen. The one thing about Sirius right now is that they don't have the best lockdown in that Ember Spirit. Like, we have seen Embers really get away, even if you can say, oh, Gust is a great silence. Yeah, but Embers, when they can read that animation, and it's not a very fast animation in Drow, you have a window where you could just Sleight of Fist and dodge. Remnant out immediately as well. Like, there's so many ways for the Ember to dodge those stuns, and we have seen it before, that the only solution was when you finally get that Hex, or something instantaneous like that, that's the time you can follow up with a Sand King, with a Drow Ranger, with all these other stuns. But early on, the Embers should have a free run here, unless they do commit to some sort of instantaneous stun, like a Hex, maybe something like a Shadow Shaman. But the issue is, I'm not sure if you're able to slot that in, unless you're really going to go greedy and just jungle that Enigma.
Ooh. Again, we see the Shadow Fiend coming out, and I do love... You know how much I love seeing this hero, John. It's a very nice pick from Sirius, and it's not one we get to see very often with the Drow Ranger, but I do like it. I don't really see a particular reason for it coming out, though, to be fair. Like, it doesn't seem to do overly well against any of the heroes. I mean, of course, it does do well against the mid-Ember, once you've got a few of those souls up. But apart from that, I guess it's just a solid overall hero to have.
It really is. I think it's down to the timings of the Shadow Fiend as well. It comes online pretty fast. It scales into late OK as well. And with that Drow, you are kind of having an easier time down mid. The one key thing is, again, for the most part, we see Shadow Fiend still going to that Guardian Greaves build, really focusing on that sustain and that added durability. We might see that here, and in conjunction with the Enigma, that's going to enable the Enigma to focus on a different item build if we do see that Shadow Fiend go into the Guardian Greaves sort of build. It's going to enable that Enigma to really just focus on maybe that Helm Dominator first, into maybe a BKB or even a quick blink as well, which isn't really common in the Enigmas. As you mentioned, the value in that hero is in its push potential. On the other hand, they could also opt to just kind of skip that build on the Shadow Fiend and go for a more traditional right-click sort of build. Maybe the drums coming out fast. Maybe Yules as well for control on that Ember Spirit. We'll see exactly how, but it's a very flexible hero to have indeed for Sirius.
Oh. Hello. The Phoenix, John, comes out. I don't know how to feel about the Phoenix coming out, John, but I do love the hero. I don't see any way to burst that egg down. I mean, you've got the Lone Druid with the Spirit Bear. Of course, that is a decent way, but generally speaking, it's not as easy as it sounds. Oh, no, here we go again.
Look, there's a Drow. You pick up the Arc Warden.
There's no excuse, John. No, there's no excuse for the Arc Warden pick.
No. Yes, there is. Drow's the excuse. We saw it before. The high ground push. Drop that magnetic field. Where is the damage? You have to walk up, and Drow doesn't like walking up. But this is actually strange for me. I like Sirius's draft. I really do. The Enigma, the Phoenix, that black hole, and Supernova coming out together. It's just massive team fight, massive control from this lineup. But Keen Gaming, that Arc Warden's a really good response. You were asking, what can burst that Phoenix egg down? Arc Warden can. What stops the push from Sirius? Arc Warden can. This hero is really everything they needed to hold back. The issue is, can you get a good enough start on that Arc Warden, on Ying on that Arc Warden? Can he get a good enough start to start setting that momentum up and set himself up to counter push quite well?
We're gonna find out, John. It should be a fun match. God, I hate this hero so much. Just delete the hero from the game. Nobody would even care. Nobody would care.
Look. I mean, it does tend to really slow down the games. Like, at some point, it really does.
It's just such a boring hero.
No, would you rather Arc Warden or Naga Siren or Tinker Mike? Choose. I think I'd rather have the Arc Warden, actually.
I actually would prefer the Tinker, believe it or not.
No.
At least with the Tinker you take risks, right?
No.
Yes, you do.
Not much. It's still not much. It's like TP into lane, blink into trees, spam spells, go home.
It's still better than having a Tempest double. I guess you could do the same
about Arc Warden, because it's like, just send out the Tempest double. Ha ha ha. That's it.
Yeah, but
kill a hero, maybe. Yeah, that's a fair point. I still find... I know, Mike. I haven't seen the ultra-delayed games from Arc Warden yet. Sure, they go long, but it's not like our Tinker games before, which would go 70, 18 minutes. That was... those were pointless extensions, because they were already being pushed in, and just...
It's not about having an hour-and-a-half game, John. It's about having to endure the most boring game with an Arc Warden. It doesn't matter if it's a 10-minute game. It's an Arc Warden.
They can be exciting. I mean, we could... You never know. We could get a very active Arc Warden on Ying.
You're lying to the crowd now, John. You're lying.
Come on, it can be exciting. Yeah, this hero does have some mechanics.
I will defend this hero.
You find Tinker more fun. I don't understand you, Mike.
Where does this positive John come out of nowhere? Kaka, gonna say hello. Sanking, of course. A lot of Fire Spirit spam going on, though. Nice double impel coming out from Kaka.
I think Sylar's dead as well up top.
Well, Old 11 gonna go take 2 bounty runes, though. Sylar is indeed dead. Old Chicken will end up finding the kill on the Ember Spirit. That is a fantastic start coming out from King Gaming.
It really is. It does come at the cost of level 1 searing chains for Old Chicken, but I don't think he's going to be too unhappy. You get that kill on the Drow, you force him back, and, well, it looks like they will lane swap. Sylar is actually walking down bot. Didn't use the TP as well, just walk down bot.
A long process for Sylar, but sometimes you got to save that TP. You never know when you're going to have to swap lanes again. Eventually going to get there, though. Still not going to be the easiest lane up against Old 11 on that lone druid. Meanwhile, the Enigma up at top lane, definitely not going to have the easiest time either. Against Old Chicken and Dark on that Witch Doctor. They will also have Kaka there, and I mean, the support of Firefly. It's a very greedy kind of lane to have here for Sirius, it does feel.
It really is. You have the Enigma and the Phoenix in one lane. Both of these heroes really need a fast EXP. One thing we didn't even talk about is the fact that you pick the Phoenix into a Nyx Assassin. Now, Nyx can really punish the Phoenix. Again, Spike Carapace. If you Sunray, Spike Carapace had cancelled it off. If you dive, Spike Carapace stops you in the middle of it.
We'll see if that does end up happening. I mean, it is just one of those standard counters, and that's probably why Nyx is so darn strong right now. At the same time, they've got to make some work happen with this tri-lane. Otherwise, they will end up finding themselves quite low on levels inside of Keen Gaming. Much work they can get done, though. Mid lane as well. ASD is up against Ying on that Arc Warden. And, well, so far, ASD not having the worst time in the world. Doing pretty decently in terms of last hits with 8. And, of course, the more last hits you get with this Shadow Fiend, the easier the last hits tend to get.
Yeah, it's really an escalating here in that sense, but Ying isn't doing too bad. Again, he is keeping pace 8 to 4, 10, 11 to 4 on ASD, and you're not going to be feeling too bad as the Orc Warden. Of course, you want to be getting a bit more from this lane, but it is an SF. He can pump out that magic damage quite fast, where it does take a bit longer for the Orc Warden to apply that same pressure.
Top lane. Looks like they will make a jump onto Firefly, though he does have the dive. But a nice impale from Kaka will actually just cancel it completely. Firefly will end up losing his life. The Kaka does get fairly low, but not low enough. The old chicken, he does not get the chains on the Enigma. That will allow him to walk out. Meanwhile, it looks like they did end up finding Ying in the mid lane. There was a rotation there coming out from the Sand King. And it's an early kill onto that Arc Warden.
Yeah, that's really not what you want to see from in-gaming. Of course, that is a nice kill up top, and when you slow down that combination of the Enigma and the Phoenix, it always hurts a bit more on the side of Sirius, because again, they really need that EXP, but when you get your Orc Warden killed like that down mid, it slows down his timings. And his timings are very sensitive. You have to have that fast Midas up, the fast travel up, so you can really start wreaking havoc around the map, but when you can't get there early, there's no way to really escalate. The hero just doesn't by itself, by its own skills, flash farm fast.
ASD getting aggressive with those raises as well. Forcing out the more selves to come out from Ying.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's like old chicken having a great old time at top lane. Currently 24 last hits, 10 denies on that Ember Spirit, though a couple of those would be the Eidolons being thrown out that way, so perhaps not going to be as high in net worth as you would think. Old 11, though, having a pretty darn good time as well on the lone Druid. Sylar not really able to do anything in this lane, and this goes back to that Spirit Bear harassment coming out. You leave a Drow Ranger alone like this, what the hell can she do?
Yeah, it's not a great time for Sylar. At the same time, there's really not much the supports can do. You have Chan Ming, I believe, in that Sand King hanging around, but again, what can you do against a level 5 Lone Druid as a level 2 Sand King?
Not much. Just stick around, but looks like it will just be for the bounty rune, and he does find it. Of course, Old 11 will be able to get the other one off the Drow. And again, you see King Gaming, they end up getting another 3 bounty runes, so they just keep up that net worth lead. That's going to give them a 2k advantage now on their end of things. And Sirius, they do still seem to have a bit of momentum their way, but now a rotation in from Dark. There will be Kaka there as well. And Sirius, well, ASD, what can he do here? There will be a nice Burrow Strike coming out from the Sand King. They actually do fight Dark, but they will end up losing ASD in the process. He didn't have much ways out. At least, I guess he finds a kill in the end, but KG definitely going to be happy with that.
Yeah, much more happy with that trade if you are Keen Gaming. Of course, you commit a lot of resources down mid. It is worthwhile. You get that kill in the SF, a hero you really have to keep in check before he escalates too much. It still looks like ASD should be set for a fairly decent start, but you are kind of keeping it at least much better than it would be if you're Keen Gaming.
Old 11 again, bot lane, has been left alone. So he does get started on the tier 1 tower. Looks like the Sand King will come in, trying to avoid this tier 1 taking any more damage. Rotation there from Kaka, I'm assuming, gets the job done. Of course, Dark was there as well on the Witch Doctor. ASD can't afford to die that many times on an SF this early on, but then again, King Gaming, they've been very good with these rotations.
They definitely have, and it's really mainly been down mid, even up top. They really haven't even checked up on old 11, but they are giving a lot of space to the slow and druid just by their rotations, and in consequence, Sylar has not had the greatest start. He's struggling on this Drow, 21 to 4. And it really reminds me of other games where we see the Drow struggle. If it doesn't get a decent start, you're going to have a bit of a rough time with the hero.
Radiant are scanning.
Sylar. Just trying to really catch back up on this drought. Has struggled quite a bit so far, and again, Dark, he'll make a run in with the coconut. Melodic was there as well. Old Chicken commits all the remnants onto Sylar, connects the chains as well, and Kaka was there with the follow-up. Now the Burrow Strike, though, coming out. Firefly going to throw the dive out as well. But it's not really going to lead to anything. They've already lost the Drow. We'll have to just accept the loss.
Yeah, and you know, you see this KG can just pull back, regen back up. You have Remnant still on this Old Chicken Ember, so he can just get back in lane, refill his support, and they can keep this aggression going.
So they are planning to very, very soon, though. They're trying to find a target. Meanwhile, bot lane, Silence being chased down by Old 11. There's the entangle they were waiting for, and with Kaka there as well. It's a very easy pick, though. Black Hole being thrown out, but there's the Spike Carapace from Kaka. And now they want to try and turn this one around, but the Burrow Strike does come out from the Sand King. Now they jump on Old 11 as well. All heroes diving this lone Druid, although that Savage Roar will save his life for at least a bit. And Old 11, I can't believe he's walking out of this. But apparently he's going to get away.
Yeah, it's that black hole into the Nyx. It's that Spike Carapace, man. It just stops it in its tracks, and that's going to be a major issue. If they got the channel in that, you know, Old 11 would be dead.
With that, a 6-3 now. King Gaming a 5k net worth lead. This is before the Arc Warden even gets started with the Midas. He literally just picked it up. That is very concerning here for Sirius in this game number 1.
Definitely so. It's a really good start to have, and quite frankly, not the start I expected King Gaming to secure themselves with. Their lineup really wants to go a bit later, and they could afford to, but they've already won this early part with a significant net worth lead. Sub 10 minutes in, you rarely see 4 to 5k.
Oh, now they found the Sand King again at the bot lane. Dust was there from Kaka. Old 11 will move in as well. Savage Roar will ensure Kaka does remain alive. Well, there's just nothing that Enigma could really do. Flame just kind of has to let it go. Kaka actually chasing. He wants to go for this bounty, but does not hit the Impel. Now misses it as well. Paralyzing Cast does come out, but the Malefice will be there on Kaka. Though still, the heal's coming out from Dark, keeping him alive, but he will eventually find the kill. Now Old 11, though, wants a lucky entangle. Unfortunately for him, the Lone Druid isn't actually close enough to the bear for it to attack. They will have to back off.
We do see this build coming out again on King Gaming's LD. It's usually this that we see on them, and they go back to this kind of build. Mask of Madness first into that Radiance, and it gives them a bit more fight. Sure, it kind of slows down your Radiance timing, because you do spend a significant amount of gold on the Mom first, but it enables Old 11 to really be aggressive without having to really rely on a support.
It certainly does. Old 11 though, with that Spirit Bear, does cop a lot more damage while that Mask of Madness has been procced. But he won't mind too much. Keep farming up that Lone Druid. Eventually, just becomes uncontrollable. Because I look back to Sylar on that Drow, who still is struggling quite a bit. Is at the level 7 mark though now, so at least he can farm up these Ancients. But look at Kaka. Already scouting him out with that early Vendetta. Won't actually be able to go for anything quite yet, because Old 11 does notice 3 heroes down in the bot lane. So Kaka, he will rotate up to the top lane now. If they can perhaps find a setup on ASD on the SF, who has remained at the top lane for a bit. Chicken doesn't go for the chains quite yet. They're not throwing them out either. I mean, Kaka is still on the high ground waiting. There is a Yules now up on ASD as well, so it's going to make it a lot harder to actually go for that kill. But they won't even bother anyway.
Yeah, it does look like both sides are kind of satisfied just farming up. I feel like that does kind of benefit Keen just a bit more. Unless Sirius can start getting a push going, it just means they can farm up quite fast, they can get a bit more in their Arc Warden, who is escalating quite fine, considering how rough of a lane start he had. Doing quite well for himself now, Ying.
Oh, Courier might get sniped though. Kaka, he misses out. He used the Quelling Blade, which took him out of the Vendetta, though he might find the Sanking anyway. They drop a Sentry Ward underneath that T1 tower, and they do get the Sanking, and now the Egg being committed, though. Yules is there from ASD, and now the Requiem. It won't be enough, though. Gus does connect from the Drow, and they will eventually find Old Chicken. Bit of a greed play there from King Gaming to dive that Sanking that far, and it does cost them.
They are punished quite hard for it, but it comes at a pretty deep cost from Sirius. They had to expend the Supernova and the Requiem as well, so those two tools won't be available the next time Keen does force a fight, and they can probably force a fight soon if they want, but it does look like they are, again, satisfied with just farming up. They are getting bigger on their LD, they're getting bigger in their Arc Warden. They really don't mind this game slowing down.
Old 11. They are trying to apply a lot of pressure on this lone Druid, but they just don't seem to be able to catch him out at all. He's getting very close to that Sacred Relic as well. It's going to be, again, very concerning for Sirius. Circle being drawn out, showing exactly where the side of Sirius are right now. And yeah, exactly correct. Literally everyone is on the east side of the map. It's just nobody can go to the west side jungle. And they are going to go for a T1. Now, well, Spy Carapace was there. Sirius being chased down here. And, well, the Sanking is gone. Dark, he'll just commit the Death Ward for that. Why the hell not? They'll go ahead and take that mid T1 tower very easily with absolutely no contention. They may even pressure a Tier 2 now because they do see the side of Sirius trying to push in that T1 bot tower desperately. This is going to leave this open for that Spirit Bear to just rip this tower apart.
Yeah, and that's going to be a bit of a bigger loss for Sirius for sure. If they get too much chip damage on this Tier 2, they will secure that Tier 1 down bot. But again, it's going to come at a cost.
Well, they jump in with the Sanking, though. He's already copped so much damage. They will back off, though, on the side of Keen. Meanwhile, Kaka, scouting out the Enigma, does take a banner in for himself. Flame not having the best time in the world on this Enigma, as expected, but kind of shocked to see as well, he's trying to rush a Blink Dagger on the Enigma.
I mean, if he can get that good jump, it should pay off. Like, if he manages to jump that Nyx Assassin before the Spike Carapace is out, I think that's going to be very worthwhile. Just get that full channel off, but if you only catch the Nyx, I'm not sure if that's going to be key.
Firefly will get caught out here. Kaka was there with the Impale as well. Melodic should eventually take him out though. Now they jump in. Dark, he gets melted. The egg has been committed as well. King Gaming have to back the hell out of there. At the very least, they force out the egg for the sake of that Witch Doctor dying, so it's not too bad, but Sirius, they're probably going to be pretty happy with that kill.
Yeah, it's still something, and again, it doesn't look like King Gaming is giving them a chance to really use these big team fight spots anyway.
Well, double chains does come out of Old Chicken. He finds one, and they are going to find Firefly in the end. And with that, that top T2 tower is being pushed in already by Ying on that Arc Warden. They want to send Old 11 up there. I mean, this is a very easy T2 to take, and it looks like he will eventually make his way up.
Yeah, it's not going to take too long for this one to fall, and again, without that Phoenix, and really just having 3 people, it's not going to be good enough for a defense, so they just opt to push where they can. But there is already a response from King Gaming down here at bot.
Yeah, Kaka looking for the Impale attempt though. He does want to go for that right click first, but they continue chasing this Enigma. Now we'll throw out the Impale, and there's the Paralyzing Cask as well. They want to make sure they don't get Black Hole though. Won't really matter anyway, but he will throw it out, trying to go for a quick kill by himself. It will not be successful in doing so, and Kaka probably should survive here. Unless he does get stomped by that creep, and no, he does dodge it in the end. The Eidolon still making the chase, but it won't matter. Kaka, he will survive.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate, the Black Hole not catching out Old Chicken. In fact, actually letting Old Chicken right-click for free. So a good attempt, but again, they are forced to throw out these ultimates, trying to find kills that are either okay, not really the ideal, not finding those cores you want, or just kind of throwing out there to just salvage a situation, and neither of those are ideal. Sirius needs these big 5v5 spells for an actual team fight. They really just don't have the opportunity to show off that team fight yet.
Arca. Fun sanking, ASD as well. Looks like old 11 will just continue pushing in that top lane. It's just going to force back the side of Sirius again. Will they react to this? Firefly being left alone in the mid lane. He does have the sanking, but the chains do connect. Karkar though, Burrow Strike will be there in time to cancel the impale. And now there's that spike carapace you talked about. It does stop the Icarus dive, though they will end up losing Dark in the process. Though here comes Ying's Revenant. That Tempest double. Spark Wraith will not connect onto the sanking, but the chains will. Old Chicken, he'll find a double, and now Sylar just going to be a sitting duck here. More Spark Wraiths being thrown out. Old Chicken just going again for that kill onto the Drow Ranger. ASD, he does find Karka, but what does it matter if you've already lost 3 heroes? There is a sanking buyback being forced out as well from Sirius. King Gaming, they're finding a lot on this map.
They really are. They forced out the 10-second BKB from ASD to get the kill on a Nyx Assassin. I don't know if you really want to use your BKB like that, but he is in a position where he's forced to do this. And again, that's the story of the match so far. All these big ultimates being thrown out for what basically is salvage.
Egg being thrown out. Savage Draw is there from old 11 bot lane, and that was a very early egg being thrown out. ASD now going to be in trouble. Getting it chased down. The Flux is there. Paralyzing Cask will be dodged by the Yules, but he's gone. I've never seen an initiation with an egg.
I think they wanted to get... No, they didn't even have the black hole. Yeah, I don't know what they were expecting there. It was very odd to begin with. SF had no BKB because he used it for that next kill. Again, Sirius is just playing with their backs against the wall, and I think they need to calm down a bit, reassess what they need to do, and go in with a proper 5v5 team fight.
It's going to be pretty hard at this point though. 10k net worth behind now to King Gaming. They're going to find another tier 2 tower here as well. Sirius, I don't see them defending this. That black hole going to be up in a few seconds, and they do have the blink dagger with it as well, but even then, is that going to be enough? Parker and Old Chicken already looking for the next target. They know the Sanking's there and they're going to find him. Just nothing he can do. He's just been chained in place. And that's going to be another tier 2 for Keen Gaming. Quite frankly, John, I would not be surprised if they just started pushing the tier 3 as well.
It wouldn't be too far-fetched, and they do respawn the bear, so looks like they want to keep that push going. I don't know if the response is there for Sirius. Again, they have their ultimate up, but they are pretty scattered right now. In fact, Kaka is scouting them out as well.
Yeah. The rest of Keen, they're going to back off. They're going to be surgical about this. No rushing. No need to anyway. I mean, they're so far ahead. There's no need to throw away a lead to Sirius. Look at ASD now going to go ahead and pick up a Blink Dagger as well.
Dire are scanning.
And I tell you, this Drow lineup has not worked out so far. Definitely just doesn't seem to be... I don't know, in conjunction with the SF, like, he hasn't really gone the right-click build either. So it's kind of like, is it really even worth it? Pick up the Drow at that point?
You still have that push potential with the Eidolons, and that's really all you're going to be banking for, but a fight with the Roche pick could be very big for Sirius.
Definitely could be, though. Chains will be there on the Sanking once again, and the Tempest double moving in, just setting up, just probably going to be very annoying towards the supports. Sirius, so Old 11's Bear as well, has the Radiance up now. Looks like KG will not pursue that Roshan any further. Can they take a team fight here, Sirius? They're looking for an opening. They will go on the Spirit Bear. Now, that was just respawn, but there's the Impel coming out. Paralyzing Casks are there as well, but they will not finish off the Sanking and ASD. He'll blow up Karka, but an immediate buyback. They want to find Old Chicken, gets a chains off onto the Phoenix. With that, Remnants in as well, though Firefly will Icarus dive away. Now, the Burrow Strike does come in from the Sanking. Impel misses from Karka. They will be able to find the Sanking, though. Now the egg comes out. Can they burst it down in time? Well, they definitely can. Sylar going to be chased down. Old 11 not backing off whatsoever. Wanting to find this drown kill. Nice Gust is there, though, to delay things. And now Black Hole down to the bot lane. ASD going to try and burst down Old Chicken. Though no, Yules will be there. And now Inflame gets caught out. A double Impel there from Karka. And it's going to be an almost full team wipe. The only person to survive is the Drow. So what does it matter? You just go straight back. Sorry?
It's just the team fight coming out again. They don't get that initiation they want. They hesitate every single time. If you don't get that supernova black hole, you don't have anything. If you're serious, again, we see the BKB, the Blink Yules onto a Nyx assassin, Kaka. I understand that is the target you need to blow up, because otherwise you're just gonna die from the spike characters potentially. But still, you're killing off a support, Nyx, with your BKB and your ultimate. It's really not what you want to do with that, and it's going to cost them this Roche, and this Roche is going to cost them the high ground.
Certainly will. King Gaming just looking so powerful. 14k net worth lead now. Sirius trying to push out those waves ASAP. They need to buy more time for their cores to try and farm up, but against a draft like this, it's not going to be easy. And they found Sylar. He's just sitting in the tree line right now. Karka spots him out. Death Ward being committed as well. Sylar, he just melts the Melodict. Remnant in as well. They know that there's an Enigma in there somewhere, and Old Chicken will find him. Does use him up as well. There's not really much he can do about this. Does he even have a black hole? He does not. He will just have to end up going down.
We're 25 minutes in, Mike. We have a 16k network lead for Keen. What is Sirius supposed to do at this point? This Drow strat has definitely not paid off.
Sorry, John, I'm not sure if you're still talking, but it sounds like you cut off. A bit upsetting. I'm sure you'll be back any time now. Hello.
My internet shot up, but it's like, I was just saying, what does Sirius need to do right now? They've lost the entire map. They haven't gotten that early push you want with the Drow. So their win conditions now are kind of wonky.
Bot lane. Looks like they have found the Sand King. He was just sitting there in the Sandstorm. Eventually, Ying with the Tempest Double will just take care of him. Now Old 11 going to be moving through to that mid-tier 3 tower. Should be fairly easy to take, especially considering they do have the Aegis available, but they do need all their heroes up there to help out.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Looks like they will go for the bot tier 3 instead. Definitely a much easier tower to get for the side of Keen. Fortification has been forced out already. Ying just going to do it safely with that Tempest Double. They have a Spirit Bear as well, so they don't even have to commit with these heroes. There's definitely no reason to back off either for King quite yet. This is a very easy rack, so no, Burrow Strike will be there. ASD blows up the Requiem. Egg being committed as well. This is when you just back off and let that Egg tick out. In fact, no, you just kill it off. Why the hell not? The Arc Warden just hitting from such a range. Now you reset. TP back in, and another Rax to be looked at. Sirius just can't do anything to stop this. I mean, this just might be game. In all honesty, they are just way too behind, and their draft is not suited to come back after a start like this from King Gaming. Next tier 3 tower going down, though. Epicenter Burrow is there, and now the black hole comes out, but it is cancelled. cancelled almost immediately, and I believe that was Kaka with the Spy Carapace once again. They'll find another in Sila on that Drow Ranger. They've got the Phoenix up as well. Firefly, he's going to go down, but they've called GG. A great attempt there from Sirius, but they will end up losing game 1 quite heavily to Keen Gaming, and that was a very impressive performance from Keen Gaming.
That really was, and unfortunate I reconnect right at the end, but once again, Keen, they just draft excellently, they run it quite well, and they get everything they want. Sirius, really, a couple of questionable picks there, especially into that Nyx. Also, a lot of value coming out from Kaka there, and just really well played overall. Hopefully, Sirius will kind of clean up that draft for game 2, because I feel like that definitely was a bit of a drafting mistake.
Well, it's another Drow on the lot with the loss, John. I mean, we've seen this so many times now, but apparently the Drow just isn't making so much work happen anymore. Who knows?
There's so many ways to control it. It's just that in that specific case, they already had the Nyx, and you still go to Drow, you still go to Enigma. You just can't afford to do that. Again, you can't get that team fight off, and the Drow will always be jumped.
Well, with that, John, we'll move into the lobby for game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Shouldn't be too long. It is, of course, MLPDotA and johnxfire. We'll be back with you in just a moment for that second game of this series.